Now, on Friday's show, we showed you a clip of Norah O'Donnell of MSNBC talking to a young girl and then another guy who was, whatever, young to middle-aged, I guess, who were at one of the events of the book signing tour of Sarah Palin. And I said at the time, look, it's just two people in line, so it's not entirely fair. They're not representative of the whole group. And she wasn't saying they were, but I said, just take it with a note of caution that it's just two people in the group. Well, someone at New Left Media decided, hey, you know what, why don't I go interview a whole bunch of people at one of these book signings? And it's Chase Whiteside who's doing the interviewing here, and Eric Stoll apparently did the camera work. And let's just let them speak and see if they have something a little bit more intelligent to say, because last time with the Norah O'Donnell clip, it didn't look that great, right? Now, I got so many lessons out of this, and some of them are quite depressing about the state of the country. But we're going to show you a long clip of here, letting people speak, come back to them in different ways, a whole bunch of different people waiting at this event, so to give you a sense of the people who came to the book signing for Sarah Palin. So here's a video from New Left Media. In Columbus, Ohio, obviously.
Tell us why you're out here today.
I am out here today because I want to meet Sarah Palin.
We're out here to have a chance to meet Sarah Palin.
She makes me proud to be a woman, and she's strong. I think she's refreshing, a breath of fresh air.
She's like a rock star in the conservative movement.
She stands for what America is.
Yeah. And what do you mean by that? If you could clarify further.
Freedom, our liberty, the right to speak.
She is the epitome of conservativeness. And I'm telling you, if the Republican Party doesn't back her, it doesn't matter, because she's going to get the presidency.
And do you hope she runs for president?
I'd love it. I would like to see her be our first female president.
What are some particular issues of Sarah's that you would like to see her bring to office?
Oh, gee. Help me out here, guys.
Fairness. Realness.
But any policies, I guess, specifically of hers?
I can't think of the policies right off the bat.
She's someone who can make a difference.
Yeah. What differences would you like to see her make?
I don't know. I guess I never really thought about it.
What are her proposals for health care?
I'm not really sure.
Well, what are some issues of hers that you agree with?
I'm not sure where you're going with that. What issues?
How about foreign policy? What would you like to see her do in terms of foreign policy?
To be honest with you, I don't know anything about her foreign policy. I don't know.
I really don't have an answer. I don't know her well enough, her thinking. I don't know what she knows and what she doesn't know. I wouldn't know half the stuff that probably some people ask me.
What do you think she would bring in terms of policy to office?
Good judgment again.
Any specifics?
I think that she would get control of some of the out-of-control spending.
Clean up the spending. Stop the spending.
She's for decreased taxes, cutting taxes, making a more, entrepreneurial, conducive environment for our country, getting back to less government dependence on things, back to individuals.
That's the next Sarah Palin, right?
Just a healthy country.
What's some of the spending you'd like to see cut?
All of it. All of it.
Definitely more cost efficiencies and limit spending and cap and trade and all that.
And what are some of the problems that you have with the cap and trade as proposed by Democrats in Congress?
I don't know too much about it, but a lot of it's just the whole too much spending for it. It sounds great on paper, but really it means people are going to suffer in the end. So
You want to give away your own money, that's fine, but don't tell me to give away my money. That's socialism.
Barack
What money
Obama,
do you have?
wrote 2 books describing in detail exactly what he's going to do.
Yeah. And what did the books describe?
His Marxism, Leninism, socialism.
I think that she would acknowledge the system of government in the United States rather than focus of administration of czars.
Yeah. And what are some of your problems with czars?
I'm an American.
Yeah.
We don't have czars in America.
I don't think he likes the military. I think he can pretend that he does. I don't think he likes the military at all.
The way
I think the country's going, I'm wondering whether or not we're going to have a presidential election in 2012. Yeah. I know there's some backroom talk of martial law. I'll give you one scenario that would absolutely do it, is if an atom bomb goes off in the United States.
We're no longer an exceptional country. We're no longer the shining light, the beacon to the world of what a society should look to be as far as freedom. We're just another country.
And you think Sarah will win if she throws her hat into the ring?
Well, he's naturalizing a lot of illegal aliens. He's in the process of doing that. They're saying she's not going to have the votes when you throw those numbers in.
There won't be enough white votes on one side to get a candidate through.
No way.
I don't think he's even an American citizen.
We do need to have profiling. I mean, the politically correctness has got to get out now. I mean, we're Americans, and she sticks up for the American people, not for other people. We're first, other people last.
When you're right, you don't have to compromise. Yeah. Compromise is for people that are wrong.
The state that she did govern was right across the street from Russia.
Right.
Yeah, right across the street from Russia. Now, I've never been more embarrassed to be a Steelers fan in my life after that guy. It's not a good day for Steelers news. We got something terrible later in the story, in the show as well. Anyway, look, obviously that's super depressing. Now you're going to say, hey, wait, you're on the opposite side of Sarah Palin. Why are you depressed at her, well, let's put it this way, ignorant followers? Because I'm amazed at the number of people who don't know anything. Anything. Right? Then why do you like her? It's the woman near the end there of what we showed you, where she said, she's for us Americans, not for the other people. Now, she didn't say that in the context of foreign countries. She said that in the context of profile. Like, we should be profiling people here in the United States, but not us Americans, the other people. Now, wait a minute. People were saying that Muslims need to be profiled in the military, but they're Muslim Americans. I don't think she's getting that distinction. And there's this emotional gut feeling that these conservatives have tapped into. If you're either one of us or you're not one of us. And if you're one of us, I don't give a damn what your positions are. Cap and trade or something, I don't know. I have no idea what cap and trade is, but I heard it on the radio, right? And what were some of the other things that they mentioned? Czars. I mean, that woman was eloquent, the woman who talked about czars. She appeared a number of times in the whole video, and you would think, well, here's a bright woman who's telling you something that is intelligible, right? But she's not. She's czars. And I live in America where we don't have czars. But we had those same exact czars under George W. Bush. But Glenn Beck wasn't feeding you his propaganda about czars at the time. And they're not czars. That's just a stupid title that the media put on them. They don't have dictatorial powers of Russian czars. Okay, please, but they don't know anything. They don't know anything. And that's what I kept screaming as I was watching it. And so, look, we got to draw some conclusions here. Number one, the propaganda of the right wing is startlingly effective, okay? I'm blown away by how effective it is. They feed it in there and they feed it in there. And those people, they don't know what cap and trade means. I mean, you could see it from the tape. They asked them over and over, right? They don't know what any of these things are. They don't know what the czars do. But they spew those talking points. You know what? His books, I read them. They were about Marxism. You didn't read them. They were about Marxism and Leninism. Where in the book does it say that, right? And then you've got he doesn't like the military. And then there's going to be martial law. And he's got some other conspiracy theories. And but I know this. I'm for stop spending all of it. Apparently, we shouldn't spend a dime if we're the government. Okay, you don't like your local police or your local fire department. Apparently, you don't like the military. There's a lot you don't like. Who cares? Stop all the spending. That's what Rush Limbaugh told me. That's what Glenn Beck told me. I'm against all taxes. They get fed this stuff, and they regurgitate it, and they don't even think about it. And then the second part is, look, trying to reach these people with facts is a futile mission. Okay? And I don't want to give up on it, but at the same time, we have to be realistic about our goals. As long as you don't reach those people by somehow appealing to how you are one of them, as long as they see you as another or supporting others, like the illegals that are being apparently naturalized so that Obama can win more elections and poor Sarah Palin can't. As long as you're part of the others, you don't have a chance. They're never going to listen to you. So we have to find a way to somehow reach them through that means, and not through facts, because they don't care about facts. They tell you when you ask them. And then the third part is, look, so much of politics is emotion. It's not about logic, and that's part of our problem here. We try to give you logic over and over again, but those people don't give a damn about logic. None of them came with, look, here's why I think X and Y and Z, and how Sarah Palin's in favor of it. I mean, her positions are, I don't mean her policy positions, but the way she stated them, like the fact that she doesn't know the Bush doctrine, Sarah Palin herself. She doesn't know who Moss is. These things are indefensible, but they don't care about that stuff because they're voting out of emotion, and they're supporting her out of emotion. She's one of us. She's for fairness, and she's for liberty, and you all are against it. And if that's the reality of how a lot of people vote, and it certainly is, well, then you got to adjust your politics accordingly. And, you know, that's in a lot of ways depressing. But you have to be cognizant of what the reality is. Now, I don't want people to get too generalize too much about this, right? Thinking, oh, well, that's how Americans are, right? No, that's not how Americans are. That's how the Americans that showed up at Sarah Palin's book signing event are, okay? And now he did enough interviews with enough people and given enough of them a chance to speak that you got a general sense. So I think that's a lot more fair. Now, and when you look at those people, okay, maybe that's 25% of the country. Maybe that's 35% of the country. And yes, that's a sad fact. But remember, you're not, mainly what you're trying to do in winning elections is reaching the middle. And the middle is a lot more open-minded. Maybe not as open-minded as we'd like, maybe not as, you know, up on all the facts, etc., but that's where our job comes in. But when you try to reach the middle, don't forget, it's not just about the facts. You also have to work the emotional side. Because unfortunately, that's how a lot of people base their votes. You could see it right there. So I thought that was really important and interesting lessons to get out of that.
Have you seen all the TYT videos from today? Check out the Young Turks YouTube channel. Do it already.